Hello, hello, I'm Pam, and this is my channel, Made by Pam, and this is just totally random. I haven't been posting for like forever, and I am just tracing out a pattern, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna click it. So, nothing spectacular, just working today. And I normally trace out my patterns. I have so many patterns, I probably don't need to trace them out. But this is for a friend. And I want to make sure that I can use it for another friend if they want. Hi, Pam. Not doing anything spectacular today, but I am tracing out a pattern for Kellyanne. I made her Simplicity 9334 a couple months ago. This one. And I have been, kind of putting off stuff because it's the way things are. Hi, Stephanie. I know I have not been on forever, since like March, I think, because I have just been, I really don't have an excuse. I don't. No good excuse for this lady here. I guess I just needed a break. And now kids are home. And hubby's at work at the moment. But he'll be home in about an hour. Hi, Jenren. I know, it's a shock that I haven't been on for like ever. It's like almost June, and I have come back for a minute. I'm just tracing out a pattern, so it's nothing like huge. It's just, I was thinking like 2 months ago, I think, Clint has called me on Messenger, and I talked to him for a couple minutes. And of course, Messenger, when you're talking to him, it's usually a live video that you're talking to him with. And I just kind of set up my camera because I was tracing out a pattern and cutting stuff out. And so I just set up my camera so he could just watch me do that instead of watching my face, because, it was just one of those things. And I was like, I can easily do that, while I'm just tracing out a pattern or something. I could just pull up a live and then talk people's ears off and try to respond to their comments. I'm sure it gets kind of boring watching somebody trace out a pattern. But it's the way that I do things is I trace out. Generally, I don't like cut straight out the pattern because it's just me. But yeah, my kids are out of school. If they weren't, I would be at the school right now waiting for them to get out so I could bring them home. Oh, and also, I didn't tell this to very many people. Probably nobody on here even knows. But I was in a car accident end of January. And it was nothing serious. It just messed up my passenger side doors. And I had my 4 kids and the 2 neighbor kids in my van with me. And I got T-boned on the passenger side. So it hit the passenger doors. Well, it kind of made the van not really family friendly, I guess. So my husband used it for a couple days before he left to go on orders. And then I used the car because I just had my 4 kids. Granted, I had been giving rides to the neighbor kids, but the mom was okay picking them up each day and instead of me picking them up. But just, I guess last week, was it last week? I think so. Last week or the week before, I finally got my van back. No, it's not 100% like what it was before. It's still, the door is a little messed up still. So it's a little harder to open, and it's definitely harder to close, because to make sure that it's not like sort of open, we have to slam the door shut. And the thing is, it was kind of my fault, you know. It's okay, Jen. But so I had taken my van in to get fixed, and he had it forever. And I checked in on him I guess it was last week. So it was last week, I think. I might have it written down, because I have a cool little planner thing that I write notes of. Write notes of what is going on. Yeah, it was the 21st that I got my van back. So yeah. And also in that amount of time, oh, my little boy came down here to bug me.
Mom, what are you doing?
I am tracing out a pattern, and I am doing a video at the same time, because I haven't been on here forever. My friends were missing me. And then also, beginning of May, I did go out to California Oh, I flew out there.
Something?
What?
Can I tell them something?
You want to tell them something?
Yeah.
Only if it's okay.
Okay. I'll say hi.
Oh, you're going to tell them hi?
Yeah.
Want me to put the camera on you?
Hi.
That's my little boy, Timo. He is 7. Oh, he's telling his siblings that I'm live on YouTube. Because I haven't been live on YouTube in a long time.
Hi, Mom.
Hi. Oh, now my Elizabeth has come down to interact. They all say hi. All right.
I love
Did you find the snack? Yeah. You want a snack out of my room? You can get a snack out of my bedroom. No, this is a big snack house. I keep lots of snacks, like chips and Pringles. Well, Pringles are like chips. And what else? And jerky. And snack cakes like the Hostess cupcakes and Hostess Twinkies. And I keep like Danishes. Oh, my Timo has returned.
What's it called, Mom?
What?
That.
What, my live?
Mm-hmm.
You just have to click on my channel and click live.
I did that. But it says as latest, popular, or oldest.
It's the newest. And it would have a little live symbol on the bottom of the screen. So, like for me, it looks different on mine than what it would on yours. But if you're watching on your tablet, it's linked to my channel, so it'd probably be about the same. But my phone's being a little weird. He wants to log on and watch. So you might get a couple funny messages coming through. Especially with him. Hi, Sherry. So what I was telling you about my trip to California. I flew down on the 1st of May. On the 2nd of May, I think it was, I got on my son's Navy ship, and then on the 3rd of May, we pulled out of port and went on the ocean, which was really fun. I couldn't really talk about it much in the process, but when I got back, I did post a little short of the flight, of some of the pictures I took while I was on the plane. And then when I stopped at a rest stop, heading to San Diego from, I was in Long Beach, because I flew into Anaheim, okay? Hi, Daniel. Cubon Bro is my son. He is my Daniel. So I flew into, I think my mouse is trying to die. He's letting his presence known. Isn't that nice? So I stopped at a rest stop, and there was these cute little, I think they were little chipmunks, but just playing around. And they were really wanted to be interactive with the people that was stopping at the rest stop. And of course, this janky rest stop, okay? I'm going to call it janky because it did not, well, it had the bathrooms, but all the main bathrooms were closed, and they only had these porta potties. I've got it right on this.
Daniel's always watching the stream right now.
Yeah, I know. But these chipmunks were really friendly, so I took a couple pictures of them. Careful, don't go back there.
You don't want to see like my side sometimes make.
Oh, they can't really see back there anyways.
Hello.
Okay, go away.
I saw your screen.
Yes, I know.
Hi,
William.
hello.
I was telling them about my trip to California. I saw some chipmunks at a rest
Can I
stop.
say hello to the chat?
Well, they just heard you.
Oh.
And I actually went and visited William, my so-called life. We met in person in California when I went down there. It was a good little visit. Okay, that's enough, Elizabeth. I saw part of your stream last night, William. I didn't say anything but I did watch some of it. I was one of the lurkers in the background for a couple minutes. I'm glad that you got your serger working. I actually got my serger working again too. My Viking serger, my S25. So for a little bit, it didn't want to surge properly. And I was using one of my other ones because I have 3 sergers. But I really wanted this one to be back in working order because I was a little frustrated because it's the one that's the 5 thread. So I have the safety stitch, which is, it's a stitch and like a chain stitch that goes along. And then it has a serging stitch. Well, I wanted to use that in some of my sewing because it makes things so much easier. Because I don't just like to serge a seam because then I still have to sew the seam also, because serging just, it doesn't give it that solid line. Well, solid stitch or whatever. And so did I lose my train of thought here? Try to figure out where these lines are. But I was making a project dress, a girl dress. And so before I got started on that, I took all the threads, like totally unthreaded the serger. And I rethreaded it. And it was still having a couple issues. So I don't know what I did, but I think I didn't quite have it threaded right. So I messed with it for a couple more minutes. And then I went to use it and it was working. You know how exciting that is when your machine starts working, that you thought you were going to have to take it in to be serviced because it was being absolutely ridiculous. Well, I got my serger working and I made a project dress, a girl dress. Last year, I was going to make dresses and it just never happened. How do I finish off my thread? Sometimes if you leave a tail, you can use a needle and tuck it in. What, Daniel?
I think that you should tell the chat who Cute Monroe is.
I already did tell them. I told them that you were Daniel.
Oh.
I said that right after
Now
I saw
everyone
you.
Viewed your live stream knows my actual name.
Yeah.
Well, they already knew it if they saw videos with me inside of it.
And also, I have been working on embroidery projects. So I was hired by my dad. Well, I made him some shorts. And then his boss needed some embroidery done for work. because he has his own business. Well, my dad does too. But my dad works with this guy, and then he also has this little side thing that he does. And to get paid for that side part, he has to be his own little business type thing. But he needed some embroidery done for it. And so I used Hatch Embroidery to make the digitized embroidery program. And then they were having a sale, and I really didn't want to pay as much as it was having, because I don't know how often I'll use it. But for $900 compared to the $1,300 that it would normally be, so it was, well, let's see, maybe it was $1,200, but there was like $300 off the original price, and I didn't want to go back later and have to pay the full price, so I purchased it at the discounted price. So I have the program now, which was a lot of money, but if I decide to do some more digitizing, I have that program that I can do that with. What, Danny?
You're still live streaming.
Yes, I am, and you're still bugging me.
Oh.
Why don't you go play on your computer?
Okay.
Like you were doing before. I thank you, Stephanie. So, I don't know, what other stories do I have that I can bore you guys with? Move that piece aside for a minute. Yeah, Mom, why? You know? It is what it is. Well, and I've been, grandma life too. Dealing with grandkids. Well, mostly my granddaughter. But she lives here too with my daughter. It's all good though. No complaining. Wouldn't do any good to complain anyways. Right? Oh, he's telling my secrets. But Daniel, I'm sure they all know that I ate dandelions because those are in some of my videos. That's if they even watched any of those. But yeah, I used to eat dandelions. They're a little bit bitter sometimes. But I haven't eaten dandelions in a while because we have a dog. And you just don't want that to go into your body. Before, we didn't have a dog. And so I trusted my grass and my dandelions. But now that we have a dog, there's no trusting there at all. Which is kind of funny, right? So the size I am tracing out is a 2X. I know this is not for me. This is for my friend, Kellyanne. And most of you know her. Like months ago, I did a little thrift haul. And while I was on that video, Kellyanne had stopped in and we was talking about these patterns that I picked up. Because I got them from my local Savers. It's a thrift store. And I had picked up these patterns that were like the larger sizes. Because I have my friends that I like to sew for.
Hello.
They're so silly. So I was talking to Kellyanne. She had mentioned that she would like me to make her a couple shirts, which I'm totally cool with. I don't mind at all. Thing is, it has taken me like forever to get to this point of making anything. Like I did finish the other one I had started. That one I did finish. And it's done. So there was 2 different patterns. There was this Butterick pattern that I'm working on, and then there was the Simplicity pattern. I don't think I'm going to write the length and shorten line on this. I don't think that's relevant at this moment. Hi, Denley. I know, it's been so long. I have been like missing in action. And I was getting ready to trace out this pattern. Well, I traced out one part of it and was thinking, you know, wouldn't it be so hard just to turn on my camera and let people watch me trace out this pattern? It may not be the most entertaining, but I can catch up all on what's been going on because, you know, I have been missing for a while. And I don't think I'm going to be able to fit any more on this little piece. This piece was what was left over from a pattern I was working on. So my pattern tracing paper is this. It's in a roll. And it's almost like that aisle runner stuff that they use for weddings and stuff. Hi, Marty. So good to see you. So I buy this roll of, like, it's like aisle runner paper stuff. It's tracing paper for me because it works out great. And it folds up great. And that's what I use it for. And then I don't feel bad about using so much when I'm tracing out patterns because it does have quite a bit available for my pattern tracing needs. I need to turn this around. So if you notice my little tabletop here. Hi, Angie. My little tabletop here has changed colors. It's now like white, but I still have the green one underneath. But I saw it for a really good deal when I was thrifting. Yeah. Not that I needed to be doing any thrifting per se, but I do thrift a lot more than I probably should. You know, I went thrifting the other day. So let's see. Was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. So I wasn't going to originally go thrifting on Saturday, okay? We went to dinner. We went to Asian buffet. It's like a little Asian place, like an all-you-can-eat type place. Because we were celebrating my son's 12th birthday. Even though just before Mother's Day we went to Texas Roadhouse, and also we kind of lumped it into one because it was a family dinner thing with my son, because you know we had just gotten back, and well, he had gotten back from being gone on deployment because he's in the Navy. And so we went to dinner. And if there was a way for all of us to have gotten to Asian buffet at that time, I'm sure we would have made it work. But we was very limited on space due to my vehicle being messed up, thanks to me. So we had gone to the Texas Roadhouse like that Mother's Day weekend. But then we also had my son sit on a little saddle, and they did their little Texas Roadhouse birthday chant thing. But for his actual birthday dinner, we went to Asian buffet because we do like to treat him out every once in a while. Hi, Matthew. And so where my story's going is by the Asian buffet. So I live in Ogden, and we went out to Layton for this place. It's about 15-20 miles from my house type thing. So it's not bad, especially when you hop in a vehicle and drive. It's simple. And after we got done eating, my daughter was talking about going thrifting. because there is 3 thrift stores right there. And there's a Walmart right there too, and a Sam's Club. But across the way is there's a Goodwill, a Deseret Industries, and there's a Savers. And they're all pretty much right in a row. Well, the Deseret Industries was going to be closing soon. And we know the Savers would stay open till 8. And I'd prefer to go to Savers anyways. So we went to Savers. We go in there. And of course we've got the whole family. All except for my son, his wife, and 2 kids. And then my husband's parents and his 2 brothers. Because they were there also for dinner. Because luckily my son shares a birthday with his grandfather. So my husband's dad. They share a birthday. So it's a good way to not forget Grandpa's birthday. Because my son was born on that same day. Which was a nice reminder. I just have to figure out which line goes with this. There's so many lines. Well, yeah. So we went to the Savers. We walk in. They had sewing machines there, and I left them there, of course. I didn't buy any sewing machines. I didn't buy any fabric. Well, I didn't buy any sergers, because they had 2 sergers on the shelf. They had the 2 sewing machines right there. But I didn't buy any of those. I was being a good little girl. And because I don't have any room for them, and I'm not into buying machines that don't work. I just wouldn't have any use for a broken machine. Alright. So, but we did go back and I did look at the fabrics and stuff. And I found some great fabrics. I found a snuggle fabric, the leopard print. Found some other fabrics. They were really good prices too. Like some of the fabrics, there's quite a bit there, and it was like marked for $2.49. And there's a couple yards. It's like the fleece fabric, like I wouldn't call it the non-pile fleece because I'm sure it peels, or it gets those little like things in it. But yeah, found some of that stuff. And, I don't need to be buying any more fabric either. But when you find some at that great of deal, you don't leave it behind. You buy it. Right. I got that piece traced out. And then up. So yeah, and then I found some coloring books because I like to collect coloring books. I was watching a little video where it was talking about, so there's can't remember the other term that they used, but they were talking about book collectors. Like there's the book dragon, and there's another name for a book collector, and I can't remember off the top of my head what that's called. So there's those that will get books and read through like each book that they get or whatever, they use it. And then there's those like book dragons that will collect the book and anticipating of sometime at some point using it, but they're perfectly content having it there, just take up space. Like they collect the book just to collect it because they can. Well, that's me. I'm the book dragon. I collect the book, like especially coloring books and stuff. I collect the book just to have it so I can sit there and look at it. And not necessarily use it. Now, I may eventually use it. But I like to have it too. Like at Savers, I bought 10 books. Now, not all of them were coloring books. Like there was like 2 of them that weren't coloring books. One of them was a project book, like to make little like tiny stuffies out of felt. And I think the other one I got, I think that's the one that I got. It was a book on idioms. Hi, Kel. So good to see you. Do you know what I'm doing? I am tracing out the pattern for the shirt, for the second shirt that I'm making you. Figure it's finally time to stop putting it off. And I just figured I was going to trace this out anyways. So why not go live and let people watch me trace it out, and I can talk people's ear off and make them totally bored of hearing about, stuff. The wonderful gossip. But yeah, this is the shirt, the Butterick 5967. This one right here, where you wanted view A with the little, I guess view A is one without the pleats. Because the view B has the little gathers and then view A doesn't. But it can be either one. It could be the view A or the view B. You just for sure let me know. So, over this last week of thrifting, because, Saturday wasn't the only day that I thrifted. I did go during the week. Oh, okay. That's fine. Thank you for letting me know, Steph. I think this piece, I got all the pieces traced out. Time to fold it back up. But I found this piece of fabric and I was looking at it today, trying to think if that was going to be one that I was going to use for your shirt. And so I'm hoping that it's one that will be adequate. I can show the fabric to you in just a minute. And if not, I can go back to the drawing board and think of a different fabric to use. But it's just one of those things I was like, maybe she would like that one. I don't know. Do you like tie-dye stuff? Yeah, I don't quite have that folded right. So anywho, whether you like tie-dye stuff or not, let's see. So I have this beautiful piece of fabric. It's almost like a tie-dye batik type fabric. It's cotton. It has a little bit of all different colors in it. But yeah, I don't know if that's something that you would like, Kellyanne, but it's one that I had picked out. But if it's got too much of one color in it, that's fine. I do have another fabric that is green that I have quite a bit of. I'll pull it out real quick. So I do have this green one. It has like a bunch of little like swirly bubbles and stuff on it. But yeah, this one I have quite a bit of too. Like 6 yards of it, I think. Because I get best fabrics from the thrift store when I go thrifting. And especially if I get it at a great deal. I think I got this green one for like $4 for like 6 yards. And then the tie-dye one I got for $4 also. So you want the tie-dye or... Oh, you don't like the tie-dye. Okay. So you want the green with the swirls. I think I already did 4 and 2. I have 5 and 6 left on this one. And then I still have the sleeve to trace out. So I'm glad that you like the green, Kel. Glad I have one that you approve of. All right. Well, yeah, that's a solid line on this one. It's so funny with this pattern sometimes. One side, like one piece of the pattern is a solid, and then you're not in timeout, Marty. Oh, well, that's no fun. It didn't show on my end that anyone was in timeout. Because usually it would tell me whether someone was put in timeout, I would think. But I could be wrong. So my little pattern weights are just like little washers that I use. Then on my straight ends, when I'm doing these, I'll use a roller. So much easier. I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. I don't know what my volume sounds like, if I'm loud enough. I'm hoping I am. I'm sure if I wasn't, you guys all would yell at me and tell me that you couldn't hear me and that I need to fix my mic. Because I know the worst part is when you're watching a video and you can't hear the person until you're turning the volume way up. And then on the next video, it's so loud that you have to turn your volume way down. Huh. Okay. I'm so glad you guys can all hear me. Had to read what was in chat real quick to make sure I was all caught up. So I was looking through stuff and I was looking through comments and messages and stuff. And like, I keep getting these messages saying people miss seeing me and when am I going to come back? And that they miss seeing my vlogs and my videos. And I know, like the other day, I think it was Friday, I thought about coming on. I did. Then I got busy doing stuff. And then those thoughts just fly right out the window and I don't do anything. But I also got myself a part-time job. And it's nothing serious. I'm just lawn mowing for a friend. So it wasn't Friday this week, but Friday last week, Like, yes, this top is Burkel. I was mowing my sister's yard. Because she doesn't have a working lawnmower, and if she's out in the sun too long, she burns. But I don't really have much else to do. So I was mowing her lawn last Friday. So it wasn't just a couple days ago, but like a week and a half ago. And so I got her front strip done. Like the strip in between the sidewalk and the curb. I mowed that. And then my dad called me and asked me what I was doing. Well, if I was too terribly busy. And I'm like, well, what's going on? He's like, well, my truck broke down and I need help. Because he thought it was his starter. So I load everything back up into the car and I go over to where he's at. Because he's at a house where he used to live, but my brother lives there now with another guy. My brother's kind of like the caretaker. So if this guy needs someone to go shopping, because this guy's disabled, and he needs somebody to go shopping for him and stuff, my brother will help with that. You know, just those little things. And, but I went over to that house.
Mom,
What, Timon?
you looked at the middle finger at me.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it says view A on here, so that's what I'm cutting, Kill, because that's what I just traced out with view A. Bye, Angie. Yeah. I know, Daniel. Timo just told me. So I guess since we have lower front A, so it's view A that we're doing, I don't have to trace out piece number 6 because that's for view B. And you said you wanted the view A. Well, that's wonderful. So what I was getting at, my dad thought it was a starter. And I was like, it can't be the starter already. Hasn't been that long since I replaced the starter on his truck. And so I go over there and I listen to him try to start his truck. And he's trying to start it. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's definitely not the starter. Because it's trying to turn over, but it just sounded like something was seized up. And so I figure, all right, well, trying to figure out how to fold this back up.
Hello.
Hi, Daniel.
Can you make me something to eat?
Later.
Okay.
Why don't you go get a snack out of my room?
Okay.
So, since his truck's not starting, but it sounds like it's trying to turn over, well, I hook it up. Like I have jumper cables, and I hooked it up to the jumper cables to try to see if that would help it start. Well, lo and behold, it did help it start. because it gave it enough power to jumpstart it. Well, here's the thing. It gave it enough power to jumpstart it, but in the midst of that, okay, as it started, there was rubber bits flying off of this belt from it starting. So it's shredding this belt, and it's smoking. There's lots and lots of smoking from this belt and everything. Well, it breaks the belt. The brake flies off. Well, I guess it didn't fly off. It just kind of snapped and some detached type thing. Can't exaggerate too much, you know, but I'm not exaggerating on this, okay? So the belt breaks and the truck is still going, obviously. So I have my dad turn it off. And then and of course I wear gloves, so it protects my hands from getting burned or something. So I test out like all the pulleys, like little turning mechanisms on the vehicle. Well, the AC compressor pulley, it wasn't turning, so it is seized up. And a whole bunch of melted rubber was inside the pulley tines. But then also in the alternator, there was a bunch of the melted rubber from this belt. And whatnot. But we determined that it's the AC compressor that has gone bad. And since that pulley had seized up, of course, with that seized up, the belt isn't going to fully turn over like it should. And so we went to the pick apart and found a new AC compressor off another. Well, wasn't new, but it's good enough. And they do kind of do a guarantee for like 30 days. So if it totally doesn't work, you can take it back and get your money back type thing, because you are pulling it off of used vehicles. But considering how much we saved doing it this way, we did save quite a bit, because they're normally like $250, and I think we paid like $65 or something for this. And so we were able to get that, and then we picked up a new belt from the auto parts store. So we went back and put it on, and after we put on the AC compressor and the belt, granted, in between all this, after putting the AC compressor on and putting on the belt, before I could put on the belt, I had to go pick up my kids from school. So I picked them up from school, took them home, picked up my husband from work, took him home. This is before I got my van back. Took my husband home, and then went back out to finish putting on the belt on the truck. So got that all put back together. And after we got it all put back together, he went to turn it over and it started right away. Not an issue. Didn't hesitate. He's like, wow, that's like the fastest thing to start it up in a long time. So apparently the AC compressor in the pulley system had been going out for quite a while and like not wanting to run properly. So, given some hesitance. But so we got that all fixed and working. And then we went in to tell my brother that the truck was ready and that they could go to work. Granted, my dad had been there since like 10 o'clock in the morning, with a broken down truck because he does the sprinkler business, works with someone. And so his service calls had to be put off until the truck was fixed. But so we go in to tell my brother that the truck's fixed and so they can get their service call taken care of. And then they go to do their service call. But before they left, my brother's roommate, a disabled guy, asked me, he's like, you don't happen to know anybody I can hire to mow this lawn? Because I noticed that the lawn was pretty long out there, and I had mentioned it to my dad. But this guy, he's like, do you know anyone that I could hire to mow my lawn? I'm like, sure, I'll mow it. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, why not? It's like, wow, that would be great. So he hires me to mow his lawn. So I go out, I pull out the lawnmowers out of the car, because I had the lawnmower in the back of the car. I pull it out so I can mow the lawn. And I'm pretty sure they weren't expecting that at all. Because, that's the way it is. So, but I start mowing the lawn. I was there for like 4 hours, okay? It's really not a overly huge yard, but it was very long. And so it took some extra time. But it's a pretty good little money there for mowing the lawn. So I got the lawn mowed. Took 4 hours. And then he asked if I could come back each week and mow it. I'm like, yeah. So last week, instead of going on Friday last week, I went on Thursday. Because the forecast was saying that it was supposed to rain on Friday. Well, and of course the forecast changed. Like, it sprinkled like a couple drops while I was mowing. So it wasn't horrible. But it said it was supposed to snow. Supposed to rain. So I wanted to make sure I got that mowed before I didn't have a chance. So I went over there and mowed it. And then after I was done, I called the guy and let him know that I gotten the lawn mowed. That was done for the week. When he asked if there was even anything to mow, I'm like, yeah, there was plenty to mow. So he thanked me, and I went on my way and picked up my kids from school because they got out of school early that day. And it took me 2 hours to mow the lawn that day, which was a lot better than the 4 hours it took me the week before. Well, actually, I didn't have to pick up my kids quite yet. I still had time before I had to pick them up. So I went home, unloaded the lawnmower out of the car, And actually, I had the van that day because I had gone and gotten my van on that Tuesday, and it was Friday. No, it was Thursday that I was mowing. So I took the van out, the lawnmower out of the back of the van, and got that all prepped. And I decided I still have time. I'm going to mow my lawn. So I mowed my lawn. And then after I got my lawn mowed, I went and picked up the kids from school. But yeah. Then on Friday, it still really hadn't rained yet. So it was pretty nice weather on Friday. Like Saturday, it like downpoured. And it started to rain a little bit Friday night. But I was able to get my sister's lawn mowed Friday before it started raining. And I spent like 2.5 hours mowing what I could of her yard. Now she has quite a bit more yard to mow than most yards. But I tried to get it done as fast as I could due to it wanting to storm. But yeah. So now what I'm doing is I'm cutting out the pattern pieces. It's almost like my little cutter here needs sharpened or needs a new blade. Which I would say just sharpened. Either that or I just cut it out all by hand with scissors. But that's never any fun. But yeah. Let's see if I grab my sharpener. Maybe it'll make a difference. So I like to just put it straight back in the packaging, but then I can find it later. Oops. Gotta be careful. Well, guess what? My husband's home. Okay. So did this actually work is the question. And I'm still just doing the regular pressure that I was doing before. So not any increased pressure. So it's a little bit. It's better than what it was. Granted, it's not 100%, but it's still better than what it was before. All right. So got piece number 1 cut. Yes, it is a true cut. It's a true cut rotary blade sharpener. Says it extends the life of your rotary blade. I think I got it off of Amazon. I can look real quick. I'm sure if I got it off of Amazon, it would be I know you said after the stream, but I know if I got it off of Amazon, it would be in my purchase history. Let's see. But that's only if it would only show it if it's still available. Huh. Well, true cut. Rotary. I do. But I'm showing a video. Well, it's a live. Have my friends on there.
Oh. I tried to ride my bike to work this morning.
Yeah, I ran into the flooded.
The Ogden River.
I thought you would have realized that from when I tried to ride my bike to ride Ethan's bike to pick him up from school that one day.
I thought it'd be down by now.
Yeah, it's not.
Like I can ride my bike, but I'll have to take the main roads.
Yeah, let's see.
They put in my request to go to school, Port Cavazos, for June 3rd through 14th.
Oh, fun.
But it hasn't been approved yet. They just submitted it today. You know, instead of 2 weeks ago when they first asked us about it.
So, Steffi, I will see if I can send a link to that. I'll try to send it through your your Messenger or Instagram. I think it's Messenger. But yeah, I'll try to send that to you because they still have them available. Okay, Marty. I will try to see if I can link it into the video after I get done. How's that sound? I know some people say that doesn't work for them, but I haven't had any problems with it. Like years and years ago, they used to sell them at Joann's. Seriously, they did. because I remember many years ago I was shopping at Joann's. I don't know how long ago. Must have been, but it works pretty good. It's by the Grace Company, is what it says. Oh, good. But I really like mine. Like, I got half of this done and then I got distracted. Like that's saying, squirrel. Hi, April. How are you? So good to see you. I know it's been forever. Well, this right here is for the button placket for along the front of the shirt. You guys can't even see what I'm doing because, yeah. Yeah, I'm just off in my own little world cutting, not letting anybody see what I'm doing. Little distraction. Oh, that's cool. Little chicken coop. Awesome. At one point, I wanted chickens, but then I changed my mind. I think once they made them able to have them in the city where I live, well, I'm kind of like outskirts, but still. And husband really doesn't want chickens anyways. I used to say I wanted them, but they're messy and stinky, and where I live really isn't a good spot for it. So I'm good. Here, the fresh eggs are the best, but I guess I don't know. I'm okay with the month-old eggs that you get at the grocery store, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is. Well, that's cool. Beautiful fabric. What fabric, April? This interface, this pattern paper that I'm using. It's like one of those like aisle run papers for like they use for like weddings and stuff. Like so like last month I went thrifting. Surprise, surprise. And I was there and I found a whole roll. It's stuff that's a little bit thicker than this. But it was a whole roll that hadn't been opened yet. I found it when I found this cutting mat here, this white one. And so I picked it up. It was like $6 for the whole roll. I don't know what it would be otherwise without it at the thrift store, because I don't generally go out looking for that stuff. If I see it at the thrift store, I'll generally pick it up. Oh no. This is just that, like, it comes on a roll that has a little flowers printed on it. All right. So when I first started making clothing, garments and stuff, because believe it or not, I haven't always been a clothing maker. I used to do quilts and stuff. I still do quilts sometimes, but not as often as I used to. But well, years ago, when my son was a newborn, so he was just little, I think he was 1. But I had my mom living with me. And I was talking to my mom, and I was telling her, you know, at some point I'd really like to be able to make clothing. Just start sewing clothing for myself and for the kids. And she's like, well, get a couple patterns and I'll show you how. Because I was like, thing that gets me, because sewing stuff is no big deal, but the patterns itself, it kind of like whooshed right over my head type thing. I was like, I just don't understand all the pattern lingo and all that it comes to making clothing. So she kind of explains it to me. I don't really even remember exactly how she explained it to me, but she did. And told me what each of the little symbols meant and everything. And so then she told me, well, if you plan on using the pattern more than once and for multiple people, because, you know, I was still having kids. It was when my 14-year-old was like 1. So I planned on having more kids. And I wanted to be able to use the pattern more than once. She's like, you want? You can trace out the pattern. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. Just get some like interfacing or whatever, like non-fusible. Like sewing interfacing, and how she taught me. And we'd use that, open up the package and use it for the tracing paper type thing. But then it folds up nice and you don't have all the wrinkles and stuff that you would get if you use paper. And so we traced out the pattern and all that. And that kind of got me on the pattern tracing thing. But it's okay to trace a pattern. And so I made a dress for my daughter. She's now 21. And she was 8 at the time. Well, she just changed 8. And I was making her a dress. And I'd made my 1-year-old at the time a pair of pants. Which, you know, it went through like my 1-year-old, well, to up until, you know, he no longer fit. I didn't want to wear him anymore. Then it went through my now 12-year-old. And he wore it so long until he didn't want to wear it anymore. And then it went through my youngest, which is 7. And he wore it for the longest time too. So it definitely got some good wear out of it. And if there was something wrong with it, I could always make adjustments. Like, I think the waistband needed an adjustment at one point. So I went in there and I adjusted the waistband. Simple as that. And, you know, those pants lasted. Geez. It lasted 13 years being worn. Well, maybe not full 13. I think it's been a couple years since my 7-year-old stopped wearing them, but he wore them as long as he could. But, you know, I really enjoy being able to make my own clothing. Oh, bye, Cal. See you later. Hopefully you're doing your live later. I'll try to come on and say hi to you in chat. Because Kel usually does a live on Tuesdays. But yeah, so I pretty much have been doing garment sewing for 13 years, I guess. But I have been like doing sewing. Like when I was in junior high, it was like home ec, TLC type thing. So home ec, let's just say that. And so they had us in a sewing class. We also did like a woodworking class too. But oh, well, dang. Okay, Kel. Well, you have a wonderful day. But we had a sewing class that we did in home ec when I was in high school. It was like 9th grade. And make sure that that's not a piece that I'm supposed to keep. And so they teach us the basics of, you know, sewing and stuff. So I made like a little bag. And they taught us how to make a pillowcase and that kind of stuff. But I chose a pattern to make a little bag. So I guess that was like first like real pattern thing. And I still try to make my kids' school clothes. All right. So we have piece number 5, piece number 8, piece number 7. There is no piece number 6 because that was for B. Piece number 9 is a sleeve piece. Piece number 4 is the front. Piece number 2 is for the facing. Piece number 3 is the upper side front. This is the button thing for number 10 and piece number 1. I have all the pieces. All right. All right. So this is the fabric that Cal has chosen. And I have pre-washed the fabric. But I'm going to have to iron out some of the edges here. But I kind of had it like kind of just set up there and like just kind of piled it up there. But there's a lot of fabric here. All right, guys. I have been going, well, it hasn't been too terribly long. Just under 2 hours. Yeah. I was contemplating using it for Project Dress a Girl dresses. So, I was talking about the Project Dress a Girl dress earlier. And so I finished one. And this is the pattern that I use, 6017 in McCall's. And so it's like E there, but with the B straps. So how it kind of has a little gathers there, but it's the one with the 3 tiers. But yeah, this is a cute little dress. I'll lift you up so you can see all of my fabric stacked up there. But yeah, this is the first little dress that I made for this season. Because I wanted to kind of get a start on it. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I am going to sign off. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining, and I should be doing this more, but I'm going to have to iron out this fabric, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe I'll come on while I'm cutting it. Who knows? Thank you, everybody. Until next time, have a great night and stay creative.